What's up, fam? It's your boy back at again with another video, and today we're talking about the new Vince Staples project, Crybaby. Now, Vince Staples is one of the most consistent rappers in the game, dropping great album after great album after great album, and Crybaby is no different. This project functions as a musical and lyrical evolution from Dark Times, which is one of my favorite albums of 2024. Now, through my genius analytical mind, I've been able to figure out the deep-rooted, subtle themes of this project. The United States of America is a crybaby. No, but in actuality, Crybaby's simple and direct approach is one of its biggest strengths. Vince spends this album highlighting the new specific brand of American white supremacy and imperialism that we're currently dealing with in the modern era. For the last decade or so, things have been moving in reverse. And while a lot of our issues are built on our country's history of rampant imperialism, we shouldn't be complicit in the heinousness that's on display right at this moment. And because this is Vince's first project as an independent artist, he don't gotta pull any punches. Blackberry Marmalade kicks off the track list by covering the relationship between structural racism and colonialism with our country's roots, and how overcoming that is basically impossible. In a very similar way to Jay-Z's story of OJ, he highlights that no matter what kind of nigga you become, you still a nigga. If you end up in an altercation with a cop, it don't matter if you rich, smart, or if you got a degree or if you don't, they gonna treat you the same. Which transitions straight into Go Go Gorilla, where he brutally describes what it's like to be harassed by the police. Imagine the sheer terror in something like needing law enforcement, but being hesitant to call them because of the danger they pose to you. And combine that with the elements of our system like redlining and gentrification that only serve to push black people into undersupported areas, therefore creating a system where we're treated like animals. We even have a song on here like TV Guide, which talks about the reality distorting propaganda machine that is our televisions. Or more so using the classic example of a television as an allegory for the media environment that we're in right now. With the album's 38-minute runtime, you would think all of this subject matter would be hard to talk about in a complete way, but there's a beauty in the simplicity and directness of his lyrics that's honestly refreshing. There's also an ebb and flow of emotions throughout this project that feel very relatable to anyone who's aware of this country's descent into pure fascism, whether it's through songs like Blackberry Marmalade, The Running Man, or The Big Bad Wolf, where he's channeling this subject matter through a very angry lens, or in songs like Go Go Gorilla, White Flag, or Only in America, where he comes across as more dejected or heartbroken. There's something so visceral about how these emotions are shown through the lyrics and the sound. Which, did I mention that this is a fucking punk album? What? So Crybaby is a rap punk fusion fully executively produced by Vince Staples himself and Saint Mino. Almost every beat is a combination of live instrumentation with a little bit of samples from the late 80s, early 90s. It's the perfect backdrop for the type of shit he's talking about. Blackberry Marmalade kicks things off with amazing live drums, a distorted synth, and a dirty bass line. The song did have to grow on me, and while I'm a bit mixed on the chorus, his flow and verse in the second half of the track is fire. This album does have some of his most interesting rapping performances, even if he's rapping less than usual on it. Go Go Gorilla kidnaps a bass line straight from Tame Impala's Backyard, along with a pretty stripped down, laid back rock beat. Again, Vince's flow is always changing. The track ends off with a really dope ambient synth and guitar instrumental passage. One thing I want to make clear now is that the bridges and outros in a lot of these tracks really elevate them to a new level, and I will be bringing that up a lot. White Flag is another laid back song with eerie backing vocals and a super singable chorus. Definitely the most straightforward track on the album. And the Running Man gets straight back into the high velocity guitar riffs with a super packed instrumental backing. There's these super punchy run ad-libs all over it. Vince's voice is distorted and low pass. It's so grungy just to transition into this ethereal bridge with Vince's vocals having this crazy reverb. It's a really dope melodic performance. The track is just so dynamic. TV Guide is a dope pop rock song that leads heavy into the chorus in the most pop rock way ever. The verses and pre-chorus jump between these really stark guitar riffs and crinkly synths. What's interesting about this track is during the sections where the instrumental gets really simple and stripped back, Vince's flow and delivery gets really intense. It's a really effective way to lock you in on exactly what he's trying to say. The Big Bad Wolf samples the classic children's story by Slick Rick to create the most golden era sounding song on this track list. This sample as the chorus is the closest thing we get to a feature on on this album. The flow is swift, the drums are non-stop, the record scratching and guitar are perfect, and the layering effects on his voice add a lot of energy to the verses. Only in America goes back into a more predictable pattern for a rock track with a more repetitive chorus. It's not a bad track by any means, but dog, that bridge and outro are really what make it special. I wish I could play it for you. Do You Know the Devil is a spooky banger about the demonic tendencies of the structures that force people into becoming sellouts or even soldiers on these streets. So with that, this beat has this eerie ass fucking flute. I think I've really been trying to figure out what this sound is, but anyways, the song transitions from this spooky fear of the unknown type sound to this again intense switch of a bridge with this rabid kick drum and dope guitar solo to cap the track off. Cotton is literally perfect. The chorus is an earworm, the pianos are immaculate, and the timing of when he decides to bring different elements of the instrumental in and out is intensely satisfying. The end where he decides to throw every element on top of the chorus feels like the third act of a fucking movie. It's perfect. And 7 in the Morning is basically the end credits of this project with a sound straight out of an American Western. The left, right, left chorus with that whistling motif really gives the feeling of the apathetic exhaustion you feel when participating in the American experiment. Honestly, this album is almost perfect. It's just so nice to have a fun and super replayable project that oozes the type of energy that people need right now. While there's definitely something to be said about the depth you might lose in this concise, in-your-face approach, I don't really think the times call for needing a PhD to understand a project like this. Vince Staples really did it again, y'all. My top 3 tracks are gonna be The Running Man at number 3, Do You Know the Devil at number 2, and Cotton at number 1. 9 out of 10. So, what do you think about Crybaby? Comment down below, like and subscribe for more, check out the socials, and thank you for watching.